There comes a moment in every life when silence grows louder than noise. When the reflection in the mirror no longer reflects your potential, but your procrastination. When the dreams you once whispered in the dark now scream at you in daylight. That moment is not a breakdown. It's a breaking open. A signal that your time has come, but not to be the person you've been, to become the person you were always meant to be. And more than that, to start acting like them now. Because the world doesn't respond to who you are. It responds to who you believe you are becoming. And you've got to ask yourself one thing. Are you playing the role of your future self, or are you still auditioning for the part? Look at every person who reshaped the world not after they were successful, but before it. Before the applause, before the accolades. Before a soul on earth believed in them, they believed in themselves. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times and still spoke as though success was already done. Abraham Lincoln was broken, buried in loss and failure, but walked as though he carried destiny on his shoulders. Walt Disney was told his imagination was nonsense and still built empires in his mind long before he saw the castle rise. They didn't wait for permission. They moved like the person they were becoming. They spoke like them, walked like them, thought like them, worked like them. That is not delusion. That is design. You think action follows belief sometimes, but more often belief follows action. You step like a champion long before you hold the trophy. You rise early, train hard, speak with clarity, take risks, set boundaries, not because you are already that person, but because you are rehearsing their habits until you become them. Success is not magic. It's muscle, and muscle is built in the dark, with discipline that doesn't need an audience. The question is not, who are you? The question is, who would you be if you had no fear? What decisions would you make if you were already everything you're chasing? Because until you walk like it's yours, it will never be. Identity is not found, it's forged. And every day, with every choice, you either feed the future or you fund the familiar. You want to become someone new? Then let the old version of you die, not with regret, but with reverence. They got you this far. They kept you alive, but they cannot take you further because they weren't built for the life you're building. You think you'll reach the next level with the same habits, same thoughts, same doubts? You won't. That version of you was built for survival. Now, it's time to evolve for success. Act like the person you're becoming, and you'll meet them much faster than you ever imagined. You think confidence is built through words? No. Confidence is built through consistency. It's waking up on a cold morning and doing the work anyway. It's saying no to distractions no one would have judged you for. It's looking at the gap between where you are and where you want to be and showing up like it's already closed. It's not about faking it. It's about faithing it. Living from the future with the faith of fire. Do you think Elon Musk launched rockets because he knew it would work? No. He launched them because he refused to sit still and let someone else define what was possible. You don't need more certainty. You need more courage. You don't need more time. You need more intention. You don't need more motivation. You need more movement. Because the fastest way to kill a dream is to wait until you feel ready. You're not supposed to feel ready. You're supposed to move anyway. That's how you become it. Act like the person you're becoming, not once a week, not when people are watching, but daily in the shadows. When no one's clapping, when your legs shake, when your voice trembles, when you feel like quitting. That's the birthplace of transformation. That's the furnace where your new identity is forged. And hear this, the people who win in life are not always the smartest, not the richest, not even the most talented. They are the ones who saw their future self in full clarity and decided to act like them now, to become the cause, not the consequence, to be the thermostat, not the thermometer, to move with conviction, not convenience. Now, listen closely. The person you're becoming, they don't apologize for wanting more. They don't dim their light to make others comfortable. They don't live off borrowed opinions or chase cheap approval. They don't beg the world to believe in them because their belief is already bulletproof. They walk in rooms like they belong. They speak with intention, not impulse. They honor their habits like sacred contracts. They face their fears with steel in their spine, not because they're fearless, but because they finally understood growth lives on the other side of discomfort. And comfort is the silent killer of dreams. You don't need to wait to become great. Greatness is not a destination. It's a decision. The moment you start living like the future version of yourself, the world starts adjusting to you. Opportunities open. Energy shifts. People notice. And not because the world changed, but because you did. You see, the world mirrors your self-image. It doesn't hand you what you want, it reflects what you tolerate. And most people, they tolerate mediocrity disguised as stability. They tolerate distraction disguised as entertainment. They tolerate fear disguised as logic. But not you. Not anymore. Because you know now every action you take is a vote for the future you're building. And every moment you delay is a vote for the life you say you don't want. So stop negotiating with your potential. Stop explaining your dreams to people committed to comfort. Stop watering yourself down to fit into places you've already outgrown. You were not born to blend in. You were born to break molds, to walk paths your bloodline has never seen, to carry vision like a torch through the darkness of doubt. You're not a product of your environment. You are a product of your standards. Raise them. Raise them until your daily habits offend your past self. Raise them until your routines intimidate your excuses. Raise them until your results speak so loudly, no words are needed. Because that's how the person you're becoming operates. They don't wait for motivation. They create momentum. They don't depend on luck. They build systems. They don't fear hard work. They hunt it, knowing it's the very soil success grows in. Every day you're training your identity, and identity is what determines destiny. Don't believe me? Look at history. Carnegie built steel with sweat and standards. Ford built an empire by simplifying complexity, by doing what no one else thought possible. Oprah transformed pain into purpose, walking through fire with grace and unshakable belief. They weren't born different. They became different. They acted like their future self until the world had no choice but to call them by their name. You want change? Then change the way you carry yourself. Talk like your words matter. Walk like every step leads somewhere sacred. Work like you've already won, because in a very real way, you have. The decision to act like your future self is the exact moment the universe shifts. And don't be fooled. The path won't always feel glorious. There will be days when doubt clings to your shoulders like weight. Days when no one sees you, no one claps. No one understands why you're working this hard, why you're waking up early, studying when others scroll, pushing when everyone else is pulling back. But that's the price. The tax on greatness. The toll gate at the border between average and extraordinary. And the ones who cross it, they don't do it with applause. They do it with faith. Because faith is the currency of all transformation. The person you're becoming, they're not waiting for you. They are calling you forward. Can you hear it? That whisper, that pull, that quiet voice that says, "You're not done yet. You were never meant to be small. Stand up, rise, move." Not someday. Not next week. Now. Because if you won't step into your future, someone else will. If you won't take the opportunity, someone else will. If you won't lead your life with discipline, it will be led by distraction. That is the truth no one wants to admit. Life doesn't wait, it replaces. So act like the person you're becoming. Dress like them. Read like them. Train like them. Speak like them. Work like them. Invest like them. Forgive like them. Protect your energy like them. Because every minute you hesitate, you give more power to the version of you that's already dying. And you resurrect a mindset that never had the courage to begin. But not you. You've already begun. You chose belief. You chose discipline. You chose to turn your vision into a vow. And that vow is sacred. It's not made to the world. It's made to yourself, to the person staring back at you in the mirror when the lights are off and no one's watching. You are not pretending. You are becoming. You are not faking. You are forming. You are not wishing. You are willing your future into existence through consistent, aligned, relentless action. This is not inspiration. This is identity. And identity doesn't change when life gets hard. It gets louder. It gets stronger. It gets sharper. And so do you. You were not built for comfort. You were built for conquest. For climbing invisible mountains that others fear to look at. For carving a future so bold your ancestors whisper your name in awe. And if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. If you're waiting for certainty, you'll wait your whole life. Success doesn't come to the most deserving. It comes to the most decisive. Decide now. Not to become, but to be. To carry yourself like the future has already arrived. To train like you're leading a nation. To speak like your words shape reality because they do. To rise like time is running out because it is. You do not have the luxury of delay. Time doesn't wait for clarity. It moves for those who walk with conviction. You want the world to see you differently? Then you must see yourself differently. No more calling yourself broken. No more small talk about your potential. No more dimming your flame for people afraid of fire. You are not a project. You are a masterpiece in motion. You are not a mess. You are momentum. You are not stuck. You are on the edge of a breakthrough. But breakthroughs are expensive. They cost your comfort. They cost your convenience. They cost your old story, the one where you were always the underdog, always doubting, always waiting. You want new results? Then bury the old story. Mourn it, burn it, and never look back. Listen to me carefully. The person you're becoming, They don't negotiate with fear. They acknowledge it and walk forward anyway. They don't outsource their vision to opinions. They don't settle for alignment only when it's easy. They command the morning. They guard their mind like a fortress. They invest their energy like it's gold. Because they know every choice either strengthens the signal or scrambles it. And clarity is everything. When you're clear, you're dangerous. When you're clear, the universe responds. People show up. Paths appear. Resources you never saw before suddenly become obvious. But clarity doesn't come by accident. It comes by alignment. So get aligned. What does the person you're becoming eat? What do they consume with their mind? What do they tolerate? What do they no longer accept? Build the habits of your higher self, and your lower self won't survive. Because your mind is like a garden. It will grow weeds or greatness. The weeds are automatic. The greatness is intentional. And every morning you wake up, you have two choices. Feed your future or feed your fear. And don't think this is only about ambition. This is about becoming a leader not just in business or money, but in character, in spirit, in legacy. Anyone can chase success. But not everyone has the courage to build themselves into someone who can sustain it. That's what discipline is. Not punishment, but preparation. You're not working hard just to impress the world. You're working hard to become someone who doesn't crack when pressure hits. Someone who doesn't fold when life tests your foundation. Someone who can handle the weight of the life they say they want. Because life will test you. It's not personal. It's the process. Pressure is what transforms coal into diamonds. Fire is what forges steel. And resistance is what turns ordinary humans into extraordinary leaders. You are in training, not for a race, not for a prize, but for a destiny. And the version of you that's coming, they're not soft. They're not scattered. They're not living life by default. They're focused. They're calm under chaos. They're grounded in purpose, and they are ruthlessly intentional with their time, their energy, their inner circle. They don't beg for inspiration. They create it. Through motion, through mastery, through alignment between their identity and their daily behavior. So I'll ask you again, who are you becoming? Can you see them? Clear as day? Can you feel how they walk into a room? How they breathe? How they speak power into silence? That person is not miles away. They are one aligned action away. One hard decision. One ruthless moment of honesty. One commitment to stop playing small and start playing real. Because no one is coming to hand it to you. Not success. Not wealth. Not peace. Not purpose. It must be claimed. And claiming it means living like it's already yours. You're not manifesting a fantasy. You're returning to your truth. You're not chasing a dream. You're remembering who you were before fear rewrote your future. This is not magic. This is mental engineering. It's what Hill taught. It's what every Titan lives by. The thoughts you hold, the emotions you rehearse, the actions you repeat. They're either building your empire or burning it. So act like the person you're becoming, because they're waiting. And the world, it's waiting too. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And what you are is built by what you tolerate in your thoughts, in your habits, in your circles. So, if your circle doesn't challenge you, if your thoughts don't stretch you, if your habits don't scare your comfort, then you're not evolving. You're maintaining. And no one becomes legendary by maintaining. Legends are not remembered for what they started with. They're remembered for what they refused to settle for. You think Lincoln changed history because it was easy. You think he led a divided nation without battling doubt. He moved forward because his purpose was louder than his fear. He acted like the person the moment required, even when he didn't feel ready. And that's what made him ready. That's how it works. The action creates the ability. The fire creates the fighter. You're not born prepared. You're prepared by becoming. Every time you hit resistance, you're offered a choice. Shrink or stretch. Retreat or rise. Repeat your patterns or reinvent your power. The average shrink. The future version of you? They stretch even when it hurts. Because becoming isn't always beautiful. It's messy. It's lonely. It requires silence and sacrifice. But that silence, that's where your soul speaks. And those sacrifices, that's what separates growth from wishful thinking. You don't get the life you dream about. You get the life you're willing to build when it's hard. So let it be hard. Let it cost. Let it burn. Let it break every illusion of ease. Because what's born on the other side is unshakable. Let the old version of you scream. Let the doubt rise up and try to drag you back. Let the world misunderstand your silence, your focus, your fire, because you are not becoming for them. You are becoming for you. You are building a life so aligned that compromise becomes painful. A future so intentional that randomness feels foreign. A self-image so clear that rejection doesn't sting because your worth isn't built on applause. It's built on integrity. It's built on discipline. It's built on the private choices no one ever sees. You know the person you're becoming. You've seen them in flashes in the mornings you got up when it was hard, in the decisions you made when fear was louder than logic, in the work you did with no reward in sight. That's them. That's you unfiltered, the version untouched by doubt. The one who doesn't need proof, because belief is the proof. And belief is the seed of all results. But hear this. A belief that is not backed by action is nothing more than a fantasy. You must live it every day. You must train the body to follow the vision. You must discipline the mind to walk in alignment. Otherwise, you will always fall back into the identity that the world gave you, instead of rising into the identity you chose. You want to live like the 1%? Then stop moving like the 99. They wait. They complain. They scroll. They envy. They wear. But you move. You build. You study. You serve. You become. The future belongs to the disciplined few, not the distracted many. And your discipline is not a burden. It's a blessing. It is the signal you send to the universe that says, I am ready. I am serious. I am no longer available for less than alignment, less than truth, less than my full potential. That's what it means to act like the person you're becoming. Not to pretend, not to fake, but to embody the next version of you so fully that the world must adjust. So completely that doubt cannot recognize you anymore. You walk differently. You speak less, but mean more. You say no faster. You say yes with courage. You look in the mirror and no longer hope you know, because what once felt like a dream has now become your standard. And what once felt impossible now feels overdue. Your future isn't waiting, it's watching. Watching to see if you'll finally become the kind of person who can carry it. Not just touch it, not just flirt with it, but hold it, sustain it, and grow it. That requires more than talent. It requires transformation. And transformation is not some dramatic moment. It's a series of invisible decisions, repeated with unyielding consistency. When the cameras are off, when motivation is gone, when you're tired, uncertain, afraid, and you move anyway, that's who the person you're becoming is. And that person, they're already inside of you. You don't need to find them. You need to release them.